Hi, everyone. My name is Susan Allan, and this is my 5 essential techniques to becoming an effective speaker, and I'm giving you 6, not 5. I'm going to explain the 6-part conversation that I developed about 20 years ago because I realized that all my clients had the same challenge. Whether they were CEOs, whether they were in the C-suite, whether they were entrepreneurs, whether they were men, women, etc., with families, they had a challenge figuring out how to communicate in a way that the people they wanted to hear and understand them could actually do that. And then they realized they were having trouble motivating and inspiring, whether it was their employees, their coworkers, or their families. So I developed the 6-part conversation, and I also developed the 6-part conversation for sales, which is very similar, but slightly different. I will explain both. But I do hope that you reach out to me so I can send you the actual training. This is just a very brief video, and this is an overview. So I want you to learn this. If you want to, I'm here to teach it. Now, part 1 is all about self-soothing. If we're upset, if we're annoyed, if we're aggravated, if we feel nervous, we're not going to be able to motivate anybody. So the first step, self-soothing, I'm going to teach you today. It's that important. I teach 7 forms of self-soothing. The fastest is brain breathing, and it saved my life. I walked out of a car crash. The car was totaled. I didn't even have a bruise. I've had more traumatic situations that this saved me from, believe me. So you want to learn this. Breathe in with both nostrils. Hold your breath to the count of 3. Let your breath out with a whoosh. Now, if you're in a meeting, if you're with your family, you don't want to do an exaggerated whoosh with a round mouth, then you just slightly open your lips. And that's all there is to it. Now, what's extraordinary about this is a few different things. It is going to connect the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, so your brain comes awake. You remember to breathe, which under difficult situations, many of us just forget. We hold our breath. So if you have this habit, you will be breathing. And a third benefit is you're doing this, you're focusing on this instead of scary thoughts you have. In a car accident, you're entitled to have scary thoughts, but it doesn't help. It's the opposite of helpful. So this technique is part 1. Part 2, in a personal conversation, is having empathy for your listeners. Connect with them, understand or guess what they're likely to be feeling and needing, and do this in a very specific way. And my paperwork and my videos explain all this, which I'm happy to send to you. If you're in business, this is when you do rapport and qualify. You have to create a rapport with a potential customer or client, and then you have to qualify whether a person can purchase what you're selling. You don't want to waste 5 hours with somebody who has no interest. You don't want to waste their time either. So rapport and qualify, or empathy for the other person. Part 3, in a normal conversation with friends and family, it's self-expression. You're expressing yourself. Your own needs are coming to the forefront. But in a business situation, this is where you make your presentation. Whether it's a PowerPoint or a video or whatever it is, you're presenting your services or your products. And that is part 3 as well. Part 4 and 5 are where you either hear objections and transform objections in business, or You ask them to let you know what they heard you say. That's called reflection. And then you add, thank you for letting me know. I also wanted you to know such and such. And you don't imply that they weren't listening, even though that's true of some cases. You let them know whatever the extra information is, you just add it on. And then finally, part six. In business, part six is the close with the order. In personal situations, through requests and offers, a solution is found. And there's always a solution. I've worked with thousands of people. And I've been read by millions and millions of people and seen in various TV shows, etc. And I can tell you that no one has ever communicated with me and said it didn't work. They've said, I really need to learn this. I just have a, kind of a quickie understanding of it. Will you teach it to me? But the bottom line for you is you learn this, it works. And I offer a free 1 hour private consultation. So you can ask me your questions and I can teach you even more then. This is clearly my mission. This is what I'm here to do. This is what thrills me. So please reach out. And again, I'm Susan Allan.